President Trump is creating a National Guard response force that's going to be basically a QRF for civil unrest. Here we have the memo, and it's effective for all 53 states and U.S. territories with the exception of D.C., which they basically say is special. There are other different federal authorities and agencies that they can use for D.C. specifically, but not anywhere else. But the NGRF will be no more than 500 troops in every single state. And they will be set to deploy at least 25% of their manpower within an hour, about 50% within 12 hours, and 100% within 24 hours, which is a pretty quick response time. I'm very curious since, again, these are National Guard's troops. And for those of you that don't know, National Guard, they drill on the weekends, but they have their civilian careers the rest of the time. So I'm very curious how exactly they're going to be able to maintain their civilian work with being able to respond within an hour at any point, anywhere in the state. The memo also specifies what kind of training and what kind of equipment the NGRFs will have, and it's largely going to be riot control and crowd control equipment with training on specifically anti-riot and anti-crowd control kind of tactics. In fact, here we have a breakdown of the types of training, including crowd management, de-escalation, domestic civil disturbance, that kind of stuff. So nothing too crazy. And it looks like they're going to be dual hatting or designating specific National Guard units to compose of the NGRF. And so I would imagine for the states that at least have them, the NGRFs will largely be probably infantry or military police. The MPs already have this equipment on hand and this kind of training. So it'd be, obviously very easy to stand them up. And the infantry, kind of so-so. They might have some of the training, they might have some of the equipment, but it's very easy to train them up on that kind of thing. And the ultimate goal is to have all of the NGRFs for every single state and territory stood up no later than April 1st of 2026, right in time for midterms. And to be honest, I think that this is a fairly logical thing to do, especially when kind of given the context of just routine civil unrest almost every 4 years, no matter who the president is. But especially when whenever you're sending the National Guard out to all these different places, you're disrupting a lot of these soldiers' civilian careers and their civilian lives by sending them out. So kind of tapping certain units to be specially trained and designated for this task, that'll let the soldiers know, okay, well, this is not something I'll be able to accommodate. They'll transfer out units. Other soldiers that can accommodate that will come on in, and that way it's a bit of a better balance for the soldiers themselves. Now, those of us on the outside looking in, this might kind of raise some alarm bells, but really this is just an administrative change. If the National Guard's coming, it doesn't really matter who's coming. This just means that they're going to be better trained and better, suited for that role. And I'd say that's a better thing because you want well-trained professionals and not untrained idiots kind of like us.